The world yesterday commemorated the 21st World Day Against Death Penalty. The Australian High Commissioner to Nigeria and Country Director of France have called for an official moratorium and the abolition of the death penalty in Nigeria. October 10 is a day set aside annually to advocate the abolition of death penalty. Maliki Duro has more.
As Nigeria joined the rest of the world to mark this year's World Day Against Death Penalty with the theme, The Death Penalty, an Irreversible Torture, it is aimed at raising awareness of the inhuman living conditions of people sentenced to death and the physical and psychological suffering that amount to torture. Ms. Leon Justin and Emmanuel Blackman noted that death penalty strongly violate the right to life.
The mention of the death penalty does not act as a deterrent for any form of crime. And traditionally, people have said to me, but an eye for an eye, if you've taken my auntie, I deserve to have your life taken as an eye for an eye punishment. That does not end the cycle of violence. And so it is not an effective deterrent, and there is always the chance that people can be rehabilitated and can contribute to society.
Every year, 21 years ago, every year we lobby and we call for the states who have not implemented, abolition of death penalty to adopt moratoriums so that this capital punishment is not used anymore. Because by shedding blood of another human being, you cannot repair what has been the crime that has been committed. And also, if that person is innocent and...
While lending his voice, the Minister of Justice, who was represented by Felix Ota Okoje, noted that death penalty doesn't serve as a deterrent to crime.
Armed robbery, kidnapping, treason, conspiracy to treason, sedition, treachery, among others. Furthermore, the list of capital offenses for which death penalty may be applied has increased as a result of the adoption of Sharia-based criminal law in some states in the northern part of Nigeria. While it is true that the death penalty is still a legal punishment in Nigeria.
Also speaking, Country Director of Advocate Sans Frontiers, Angela Uwandu Uzima Iwochukwu, called for the abolition of death penalty in the country.
It works towards abolition of the death penalty. And we know that there is a growing trend for abolition in the African continent. We have seen other countries in Africa who have done away with the death penalty. We have several countries in the continent, with Ghana being the latest country in Africa that has abolished the death penalty from its laws. We're calling on the Nigerian government to also tow suit, and at least as a first step to address issues around the mandatory nature of the death penalty in its laws, and then secondly, to put in place an official moratorium on executions. Because once we continue to retain the death penalty, we always run the risk of executing innocent people.
The average period spent on death row by prison inmates in Nigeria is said to be between 10 to 15 years. Many death row prisoners over the years have developed mental illnesses during their long stay in prison and on death row. And as such, prisons in Nigeria have often been converted to rehabilitation centers in the country.